Good morning, guys. Thank you for joining us once again on the next episode of What's in the Showroom with Ed. And obviously, you guessed it, we're in the showroom, and my name is Ed. I'm the sales manager here at Pfaff Reserve Toronto. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we promise to give you a little bit more content as we go along in the next of 2022. I do apologize that we're trying to do this as much as we can, but it's just been completely crazy, and like half of the time our showroom is 50% empty and we don't even have anything to show you. So without further ado, I just wanted to start again and show you guys what kind of the acquisition that we've made recently in the last couple of months. So a lot of our business obviously goes towards in buying the cars. We don't really get too many trade-ins. We're not a franchise store. I mean, we do have our big sister store, McLaren, but we don't really get too many good quality trades. And a lot of the buys that Jimmy and I do are speculative buys. And what we realized in the last little while is that the 90s stuff is kind of the stuff that we're focusing. And if you think about it, 90s is actually pretty old now. You know, we're coming into 2022, 2023. It's almost over 30 years old. So a lot of these cars that you're kind of looking at nowadays, it's slowly moving to that direction. You know, you had the 80s going up, then the 90s, and then obviously, you know, coming up to the early 2000s, the mid 2000s, all these cars are starting to gain a lot of traction. So we are fortunate enough to actually have a few 90s cars in the showroom, and I'd like to start off first with our consignment piece here. It's a 1998 Ferrari 550. This car belongs to a really good client of ours. He's a big McLaren customer of ours. Big Ferrari guy as well. His whole family is really into Ferraris. I believe the car was a 3-owner car, and he had the vehicle for probably since 2005. What I love about this car is that it actually comes with the carbon bucket racing seats, which is a very rare option in this particular car. Typically you see the ones online are going to have the regular comfy seats with the Daytona and all that kind of stuff. So those are actually the same seats that goes into a European F40. Just a very cool touch, as well as obviously the traditional red on tan color combination. 25,000 miles on the clock. We're just waiting for the vehicle to go to Ferrari across the street to do a full engine L major service. And after that, we're going to be putting it online for, going to see what the market is at. There's not too many for sale online. Also, there's not too many for sale even in the US market as well. So we're going to see what the market sort of dictates when the vehicle is complete, and we're going to go online at that time. But very cool car, a lot of pop culture around it. Obviously, it was a vehicle that was in the Bad Boys movie, Bad Boys 2. So, you know, we all know the turbo being the Bad Boys 1. And yeah, super excited to get this vehicle in stock and can't wait to list it and going online. And moving forward, we all know the NSX, Ayrton Senna, Honda, Formula One. You know, a lot of stories, a lot of you know, history behind this particular model. You know, this particular one is a 2000 model. It's actually interesting because this is actually VIN number 2 of 2000, which is quite interesting. Ontario car delivered new. The vehicle only has 6,000 kilometers on the clock. Beautiful color combination of the traditional red on black. 2000 is actually a really good year for the car in many ways, in the sense that it has the upgraded engine, the 3.2 liter, and as well as the flip-up headlight, which a lot of people are in love with. Personally, for me, I like the flip-ups, but I don't mind the solid headlight, which we actually have a 2003 that just came in stock. Fortunately, it's not in the showroom, but you will see that online too. So 6,000 kilometers on the clock, just complete bubble car. Super excited to have it in our stock right now. And I think, you know, with the JDM stuff, it's slowly gaining traction. Obviously, it's the biggest competitor that they have would be, you know, European models like German cars and stuff like that. But I think the Japanese stuff, there's still going to be a huge diehard fan with these things, and they're just going to be a blue chip stock, and can't wait to sort of see what kind of money that this vehicle is going to be getting. So moving forward, this is a very special car to me because I actually started my career in Mazda. I used to start washing floors. I mean, it's funny enough that that's how my automotive career started. And I remember seeing a lot of these cars pretty much was just beached on the back of the lot. It was very just a regular sports car. But now moving into 2022, and I'm obviously a lot older, you know, a lot of the details I didn't realize when I was a kid is sort of super evident on a car like this. You know, even from like a 550 or an NSX, the curve about that 90s design, you know, the hips, the just everything about it is so different versus what even 5 years ago, some of these cars, they just look completely different. This particular car is a 94. It's finished in a beautiful pastel color combination, which we all love. Like, I mean, we had our 964, you know, and obviously our Diablo that we had over here. So we fell in love with this car. We purchased this car from Brilliant Trailer, and we just decided that it's a speculative buy, and we wanted to have this in our collection to sort of continue our JDM love and pushing that market a little bit. Just super excited to have something like this in our showroom in front of us. And the next one is going to be a Supra. Like, we're looking for a Supra. If anybody out there that's know of a really nice Supra, let us know. We'll definitely want to complete the Japanese trio here. Okay, and moving forward, we have a Viper GTS, and again, just another 90s design. Like, I mean, if you look at these two cars in front of each other, the hood, the curves, the lines, everything is super similar. You know, compared to an 80s car or even like an early 2000 car, like the lines are so much softer, the cars are so much prettier. It just seems like somebody, you know, finished a clay model and then put it into production. So I particularly like the Gen 1 Vipers with these ones because they do have a bit of a smaller wheel, the chrome wheels. I mean, the Gen 2, these ones will have the bigger wheels. They just look a little bit more modern. But we just love this car. We just fell in love with the design, the color combination, the blue with the white stripe. You know, the interior's got this extreme nostalgia. When you jump in it, just kind of like, wow. You know, a lot of cool technology too. Like, these two cars actually have very similar design cues. I mean, the hood, the roof, where the door handle is, and all that kind of stuff. So it's very cool to have them side by side here, compared to sort of look at each other. I just love the back end of these things. Like, it reminds me of like a Porsche GT1 almost, because it's like a car in a car. You know, almost like you know how the flares that kind of connects to the wing and all that kind of stuff. So that's one thing I realized about 90s cars is just design. Like, you know, back to what we love most, the 964, you know, the design of it and all that kind of stuff just has a little bit of difference. Very huge contrast between the 80s and then moving into the early 2000s. So, and then we're going to switch right into the top gear here. We have our Pagani Zonda R. You know, what can I say? What a crazy car to be standing in front of. And, you know, obviously we're a Pagani dealer of Canada. You know, Pagani is a very well respected brand here in Canada. We have a lot of Paganis on the road here in Canada. And 10 Zonda Rs was produced. I did some research. I think there was like maybe a 16th one, like an extra one, and 5 of them were Revolutions. So production numbers are just stupid low, extremely low. I mean, even the regular cars are very low. You know, the Wyra, they only make 100 pieces a year, Roadster 100 pieces a year. This particular car belongs to a really good client of ours, and he actually sent this car back to Pagani and had it completely, I guess you could call this a Tempesta upgrade. And Horacio Pagani and the team basically modernized and upgraded this Zonda R into, you know, with upgraded aero. The interior is completely changed to custom fit himself as a driver. The seats do not move, the steering pedals, everything do not move. It's custom fit to him exactly. So this is a brand new car, full carbon body. And like, he just hasn't had a chance to take it out yet because with COVID, with everything. But, you know, like, I mean, just the doors and everything. It's so paper thin, and the interior is just incredible. It's incredible what Pagani has done with, you know, being a startup company and, you know, to the level that they are right now. their carbon technology. I mean, I've been to the factory, and like, you know, their whole situation is they produce every single carbon pieces themselves, and it's incredible. Like, it's their attention to detail, the weave design, the chassis, it's like a patented technology where it's a mix of titanium and carbon fiber. So, you know, it's just incredible that they've come to the distance that they are, and you know, can't wait to see the new generation C10. We have a Wire R, we have a couple of Wire R orders on that is coming to our store too. So a lot of cool stuff that's happening with Pagani. So hopefully we'll see some cool stuff this year. But yeah, just a really cool car. A lot of people ask me what the price of this would be. I have no idea. Like, honestly, there's a couple of floating around between 5-6 million US, but I mean, for something like this that had Pagani refurbished and everything, brand new car, who knows? Whatever someone's willing to pay, basically. So, and moving forward to some more modern stuff, late model cars. Obviously, we all know what a Ferrari 488 is. I like to call this car a bit of a Swiss Army knife car. I like to use that term a lot, and a lot of the cars do get that title, and this particular car for sure would be one. Love the 488. I think it's going to be a very important car in the future, and compared to what the Ferrari lineup is going to be. Obviously, they're moving to the V6 hybrid. You know, the F8 design is very aggressive, very edgy. Whereas the 488, it was the first time that Ferrari actually designed the car in-house. So that's when Pininfarina actually was not used for their design anymore. 458 was the last one. So it was really interesting to see how they took the 458 design and sort of gave their 2 cents on it. This is a 2016 coupe 480 GTB. Specification on this car is amazing. I mean, with Ferraris, what we realize, specs are very important. The car could be 5 years old, but it has the perfect spec, and it will sell for the same money for a newer car. So this particular one has the two-tone factory black roof. A lot of guys like to wrap it just to sort of replicate that, but this is actually from the factory two-tone. Carbon front sill, carbon rear, full carbon interior, forged wheels. So yeah, this is just a bread and butter car for us, and we should be able to see a good home for this very soon. So, funny enough, moving forward to the R8, this is a customer's trade who actually traded in for a 488 Spider that we had here. This is the second time, could be actually the third time that we're getting this car back now. This is a 2018 R8 V10 Plus Spider. I love these things. Like, I mean, you think about 17, 18 R8s, you know, they're 5-6 years old now, but you look at this car, it's still very modern. It looks like a brand new 22. Like the wheel design with them, the rear deck, obviously specification is very important. This car has full exterior carbon. It's got the upgraded wheels, the diamond stitch on the inside, and the color combination is just gorgeous. And one thing I love about the Gen 1 R8 is that they actually come with these aluminum windshield sort of surround, whereas the new design one doesn't come with that anymore. I guess maybe to save costs or whatever, but just a very nice touch to indicate that, hey, this is a Spider. 8,000 kilometers on the clock, just a beautiful piece. Hopefully we'll get this going and someone can enjoy the top down in the summer. Right next to it, it's kind of the opposite of what the R8 is. They kind of switched it around, and obviously V12, A12 GTS. A lot of people don't know, like, A12 GTS is actually, unless you guys can in the comment can correct me, it's probably the rarest car that Ferrari, outside of specialty cars, probably the rarest car that Ferrari's made in the last, I would say, 2-3 years. They actually made less A12 GTS than SF90s. So I think it was to do with, you know, COVID or whatever it is. The factory probably trying to retool itself to get to the 296 production line, hybrid drivetrain and all that kind of stuff. So they probably didn't really have time to, you know, part supplies and all that kind of stuff. They probably didn't have enough time or enough supplies to continue to produce this, which, you know, we all know, like, a lot of their stuff got shut down and there was only a few cars that you could order from the factory. So this right here is a 2021 A12 GTS. It's, what can I say? It's a convertible front engine V12 Ferrari. It's a big boy, right? I mean, this particular car is finished in blue posi on the coil interior. Not too many carbon fiber inside, but I don't really mind that because this is more of a gentleman's car, so the carbon fiber wouldn't really add as much value to this car versus say like a F8 or a 488. So very, very classy car. We have a couple clients on it, and hopefully it will go to a good home very soon. I just love the silver wheels design. Silver wheels definitely coming back right now. A lot of the manufacturers doing black wheels, diamond cut and all that kind of stuff. I think just the traditional silver wheels, silver brakes, it's just a very, very classy look. Love this car. So moving over to our, I guess, big boys corner. It used to be red, but now it's white, or it was red and then white, and then now it's just kind of like, I don't know, a transition of light colors. So obviously you saw on our Instagram, we just picked up this Jaguar XJ220 from the airport. We purchased a car from Dubai. Super, super excited to just have this in Canada, in our showroom, and represent it. Another 90s design. Like, I mean, just look at it. It looks like it's just gonna cut through air when you drive it. Like, I mean, that's what the whole 90s design was all about. Just kind of super smooth sculpture design. The backstory of this car, I'm sure some of you already know. I don't want to bore you with it and we sound like a broken record. Jaguar planned to make this, it was a whole deal about four-wheel drive, V12. Everybody got hyped. And then when they first came out, it didn't have any of that. They actually canceled a majority of their order, lost a lot of orders, a lot of cancellations, and Jaguar actually didn't produce as many as they wanted to do. So a super rare car. I might be wrong. Jimmy's a little bit more into this vehicle than, or did a little bit more research on this than I did. I think it was 170 or 270 produced, and that's just incredible low production number. And I was actually fortunate enough to go to the airport and pick this car up from the airport and went for a quick little drive, and you can tell that the vehicle is a 220 miles per hour car. I mean, it's funny enough, they actually never had the vehicle up to 220. I think the highest was 217, but it was the fastest production car for a long time until the McLaren F1 came out and obviously destroyed everything. But I think it just has a brand Jaguar, the story behind it. That's what we like to do. We like to buy a lot of cars with stories, history, and I just like how Jaguar kind of went, oh, this is a project. We got really, really good reception of it, let's do it, and then it didn't really work out and they completely just shelved the idea. And I think knowing Jaguar XJ, Don Law, the guy's name definitely pops up a lot. I think he actually bought all the rights and all the intellectuals, I guess, for the XJ220. So this particular car actually was fully restored by him. It's only got 6,000 kilometers on, 3,800 kilometers on the clock right now. We just went through it with Val, and the vehicle is completely ready to go, 200 miles per hour. Very reliable car. So just amazing to have this in our showroom right now, and hopefully we'll find a special buyer for it. Yeah, moving forward, we have our Courage GT. We've done quite a few Courage GT. We're actually fortunate enough to be able to work on them as well. Chris Clark is one of our master technicians over here in the back here, and he's fully certified to work on Courage GTs. What can I say? These things has been just skyrocketing in terms of value. The V10, the manual, say less. Everybody just goes crazy for that. The last of this, the last of that. I think the pricing on them are very high right now. I think they're gonna settle down a little bit. The production on them are not low, they're not high, but I just think that a lot of them are getting traded with pretty crazy numbers so fast that they're probably gonna settle down a little bit. But aside from the money part, I still think this is just absolutely incredible car. You know, in an era where you know, this is mid 2000s now, in an era where carbon technology, high tech, and all this kind of stuff was important. You know, you're talking about SLR, McLaren, Mercedes, you know, making a carbon tub, 600 horsepower. Then you have the Enzo coming out. So, you know, a lot of these manufacturers, when they want to make a supercar back in the day, because there was no hypercar, this was considered a supercar, they really needed to keep up. And, you know, manual V10, what else do you want in life, right? So super excited to have this in our collection. We are just going through the details of the car, the histories, and building a life for the car. And be sure to let us know if you have any interest in this. And finally, we have our beloved Senna. We like to call this car the modern day F40. And that's really what it was, because, you know, when the F40 first came out, it was very, you know, the design was questionable. What it was for was questionable. It was just all purpose. That's it. And that's exactly what the Senna was all about. High downforce, purpose aero, purposeful design is what they'll like to say. So it's definitely not the most comfortable car that you can drive, but they are a riot when you are really on it. I mean, like 500 production made. You know, arguably gonna be, I mean, there's no argument, it's gonna be the last sort of gasoline power hypercar from McLaren Ultimate Series. The next one will be either full electric or some sort of hybrid. This one actually has a lot of small MSO details. This particular car, with aside from even though it's not an exposed carbon body car, it actually has a higher MSRP than some of the carbon body car that we got. This particular client painted all from the factory, all the carbon grille area on the back to white, as well as the front eye socket to white. If you see, you have the 24 karat gold heat shield. And it's just one of those cars that when you look at it in pictures, you kind of go, well, I don't really know what I'm looking at, basically. But once you look at a car in person, you look at it closely, you start seeing the little details of aero design over here, you know, little flips over here, the interior, the wing, the scoop, and all that kind of stuff. When you see one in person, it actually is a very incredible car. And the Senna market it's funny because we've never really been stuck with one. We've never really had trouble selling one. Every time we have one in stock, they usually sell right away. So, you know, there's definitely that still huge diehard McLaren guys that's looking for this particular track focus race car like for the street. It's better than a race car, it's faster than a race car, it's more power than a race car. So I think these are going to be very special in the future, especially when everything is going to electric and hybrid and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much it. I want to thank you guys for joining us on this episode of What's in the Showroom. We're hoping to refresh this at least once a month, so be sure to check out our content and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next time.